Bright City fam, man, welcome back. My name is Rick. I'm the pastor here at Bright City, where we believe the future is bright. And man, I don't know if this Christmas season, like all the Christmas cheer and all the happiness and laughter is just kind of gnawing at you right now. You ever feel like that? Like when Christmas comes around, it's like, yeah, I get that I should be full of joy and Christmas cheer and things should be happy, but man, like, I don't have that. Like, life is tough right now. And thinking about the angels announcing, like, I have good news that will bring you great joy. And you're like, man, I need some good news because I don't have that great joy. Or maybe right now is like, man, I really desire joy. I want to have joy, especially during Christmas, especially this year. Like, Rick, I want joy. God, I want joy. But maybe for you, as you're praying for that, you're like, I desire that, but I don't feel joy. Like, I want joy like I see these other people around me having joy. Like that family that seems like they have it all together, or that woman or that man that seems to just have everything figured out and like seems like everything goes well for them. Like, I want joy. And it seems like everybody else is finding joy and I struggle to find joy. Do you feel like that? Man, for me personally, like winter, when it gets dark and it's cold, it's hard for me to find joy, man. It's easy for me to get in this state of like, just not feeling like, it's not like a woe is me, like there is no hope, but it's like, I really truly want joy. I just don't know how to get it. When it's cold outside and it seems like the days are literally shorter and it's just dark and cloudy, and I'll like spend time in the Word and I'll spend time praying and spend time trying to like cultivate joy, and it's like it won't show up. Do you ever feel like that? And man, I want us to approach the Word today with that. Like, for you to just be transparent right now and like to know that, like, man, this is a safe space to do that. Of saying, man, I read about joy, I hear about joy, I hear sermons and preaching and preachers talk about joy, and I just don't have it. Am I even a believer? Like, bring that to the conversation today. And man, my promise to you is not to fake like I always have joy, but my promise to you is to say, let's bring that type of transparency to the conversation. And my promise is to just simply pray for you, that God would bring you joy. And I pray that today that God shows you a promise that He keeps, that this good news will bring great joy. Man, when I think about angels like showing up and saying like, we have good news that will bring you great joy. And it's like, I know I should feel like excited and like goosebumps and like, yeah, man, like good news. Oh man, I just got good news. And I'm filled with joy and anticipation and all this stuff and like happiness and confidence in God and confidence in like that He's using me and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't have that. I want that, but I don't have that. Is something wrong with me? Am I missing something in my faith? Am I even a believer? What is joy? Because I want it. I desire joy. But I don't feel like I have joy. Do you feel like that? What is joy? What even is it? For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery. I hate wrongdoing. I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering. I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Their descendants will be recognized. They will be honored among the nations. Everyone will realize that they are a people that the Lord has blessed. What is joy? And what does that have to do with joy? Joy is waiting, knowing God will. It's in the midst of experiencing a loss of a child. And it's saying that right now sucks. And right now, I don't get it. And right now, I'm angry. And right now, I don't understand. And right now, life is hard. Joy is waiting. Knowing God will. He will repair. He will restore the joy of His salvation. He will repair your broken heart. Joy is waiting, knowing God will. It's not this blind happiness of like, life sucks, but I'm going to smile it off. It's in the pain and in the suffering, in the questioning. And it's in those moments, there's this, I know God will meet me here. I know and I trust that He is Emmanuel, that He is God with me. When everything around me says He's not, I know He's with me, and that's joy. Maybe you felt like, do I just not have the personality to have joy? Like, I just don't naturally smile, Rick. Do I not have joy? Am I not prone to like have joy? Is it just like, is joy something that's gonna be fleeting me the rest of my life and I'll never catch it? And I'm just here to say that joy doesn't mean that you're just happy and smiling all the time. I don't picture Paul in prison experiencing persecution and pain. And in his letters, him just being like, man, I'm just not gonna worry. Everything's gonna be just fine. And I'm just happy right now. And like experiencing moments of loss and pain. And he's just like, oh, it's all good, man. No, I'm just blessed. Blessed and highly favored. Ain't nothing wrong. I don't see that in his life. I see this like, no, it is tough. And I may not have a smile on my face right now, but there's something deep in my heart that is still hopeful, even though it hurts. That even though I'm experiencing the pain of loss, even though I'm walking in this moment of my life where life hurts, Or I know God called me to do this thing. I know God called me to move away from what was comfortable and move to a completely different state and to do this thing with my family and to start this thing. I know he called me here. And joy is saying, even though there is worry and even though there's pain and even though the bills don't make sense with the finances and the income and all of this stuff, joy is saying, man, I'm not leaving because I know, and I'm willing to wait because I know God will do something. I know he called me here. Joy is this quiet confidence in moments when anxiety attacks. It's those moments of overwhelming peace that rush over you after anxiety has run rampant in your mind. That's joy. Rick, I just doubt my faith, man. Like there's moments where I don't know, I'm coming to a place in my life where everything that I was taught growing up, like I just don't see that happening in my life. Who is God even real? And what I'm reading in the Word, man, I don't experience that. Am I just not a believer? Maybe I'll walk away from faith, or maybe I'm not chosen. All these thoughts start flooding your mind of man, I have these doubts and questionings with God. Am I even a follower of Jesus? Am I saved? Do I have belief? I want to have belief. I want to have joy. But man, there's a lot of questioning and doubt about who God is because of what I was taught growing up. And man, joy is wrestling and not letting go. Joy isn't just saying man, God does it. I don't understand it. But he will show up and he will follow through and he will meet me where I'm at. But you never talk about the honest part of man, to be true, man, I'm struggling right now. Joy is taking that struggle to God, trusting that he'll save you in the midst of that struggle. It's wrestling and knowing I'm not letting go. In moments of questioning your faith, in aspects of scripture and God's character, man, it's not that you don't have faith. The fact that you're still asking questions is God real? And man, where is he at? And am I a believer? That's you wrestling and not letting go, man. You have joy. Joy is faith wrestling with God and choosing not to let go. It's in those moments of anxiety that peace just inexplicably washes over you. You have joy. And it's not looking at other people's lives and man saying I wish I had what they had. I wish I had joy like they have. I just have good news today. And it may not sound like this optimistic, happy thing. It's because I want you to truly, I want you to know the Spirit is producing fruit in your life. Even when you feel like he's not, even when you feel like it's not there, that joy is wrestling with your faith and not letting go. It's asking those tough questions. It's in the wondering, knowing he's going to make a way, but he hasn't made a way yet. And so you're still wondering through what that looks like to have faith in God. And man, that's okay. Joy is knowing that he will make a way. Joy is remembering when you started the family or that new job or that new career, and the fears and the worries should have just crippled you. That instead they were outdone by God's still small voice that was saying, man, I've equipped you. I called you here. Man, what is joy? We were filled with laughter and we sang with joy. And the other nation said, what amazing things the Lord has done for them. Yes, the Lord has done amazing things for us. What joy? What is joy? Joy is a witness to the world. Joy is John the baptizer saying while he's baptizing believers, like, man, I'm just simply here as a witness in the waiting, that I choose to be a witness. I choose to testify, even though I'm still waiting for Jesus to show up, even though I'm in the midst of not knowing why, like, there's no resolve in my faith. There's no resolve in my life. There's no resolve to the pain that I'm experiencing right now. It's choosing to say, man, but I'm a witness in the middle of waiting. And so that everyone around me will know and might believe in who God is. It's a witness, man, in the waiting. It's like shepherds, that song, like shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? And that's what joy is. It's singing and straining through it and struggling through it and singing the song when you don't believe what you're singing. It's a prayer without experiencing the promise. It's praise while sitting in a lot of pain. It's the wrestling and wondering, do I even believe this stuff anymore? And knowing God meets you in that. What is joy? Joy is this worship of who God is. It's a song in the suffering. It's waiting, knowing God will. It's a witness in the midst of waiting. Man, I want joy. And there's a lot of times in your life where you want joy and you feel like maybe God just doesn't speak to me. It's in those moments of questioning that you just choose to say, no, man, I'm going to choose to trust God in the waiting. I'm going to choose to sing while I'm suffering. I'm going to choose to trust God while I'm having trouble with my faith. Joy is saying, I'm still going to talk about how good God is, even when life sucks. Man, here, I just want this to be a space at Bright City that chooses to be okay with unresolved, but is also expectant that God will show up. God will comfort you. God will bring peace that surpasses all understanding. God will see you through the suffering. Jesus, who for the joy set before him, endured the suffering of the cross, the shame of the cross, the unsettling, gut-wrenching pain and complete abandonment of his Father. Why did he go through all of that stuff? Because there was joy. It was this confidence of knowing, my Father sent me to do this. And it hurts. And there's shame involved. And there's people around me that are mocking. And there's people around me that are saying, man, that's not who's God? God ain't real. And it's choosing in those moments of suffering to just say, I know that God will, that I have a quiet confidence in the midst of complete chaos, that my God sees me through. So man, let's be a people, a church, a bright city, a city on a hill, a group of friends that links arms and chooses to sing carols of God's kindness. Man, let's be loyal followers of Jesus who are okay with waiting, knowing God will. Man, let's be a fearless family, witnesses to the world. Psalm 126 is divided in two parts. In the first 3 verses is this remembering God delivering in the past. And they said, when the Lord brought back his exile to Jerusalem, man, it was like a dream. Remember that? We were filled with laughter. Man, we sang for joy. In the other nations, they even said, man, what amazing things the Lord has done for them. Remembering when God pulled through for them. And they're rejoicing that that was a witness to these other nations. These other nations meant the others were the peoples that didn't believe that God was real. And it was in the midst of their rejoicing that that they bore a witness. And these nations were like, man, what amazing things the Lord has done for them. And then in this song, they're saying this, like they're remembering, they're choosing to sing, but right now, this is what's going on in their lives. And this is what's in verse 4 through 6. It says, restore our fortunes, Lord. In other words, I don't feel like rejoicing. What I'm experiencing now is not exciting. The world around me is in complete ruin. So restore our fortunes, Lord, as streams renew the desert. Those who plant in tears will harvest with shouts of joy. They weep as they go to plant their seed. It's work. It's hard. It's difficult. There's questions. There's tears. There's sweat. there's blood and pain and doubt and worry. But joy is knowing there will be a harvest. But they sing as they return with the harvest. Always be joyful. Never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. And the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.